faster.
I wonder if it's Lumo like a limo, because it's sleek. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we might be there.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Especially in the Midwest, we just don't use trains.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole excursion, like, oh, you're gonna go on a train. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is us, the Midwest couple, and we are back here today looking at the Lumo train from London to Edinburgh. As many of you guys know, we are going to be coming to the UK as long as World War III doesn't break out, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So we'll still some contingencies, but we are planning and hopefully...
We got the tickets.
We will hopefully make our way over there in June. If you guys haven't seen the live stream, go check it out. It is still up for all of you. With that being said, guys, this was sent to us from our lovely Trevor. Anyway, guys, we're going to be checking out the new Lumo train because we might take it. Right now, we're still planning on flying from Edinburgh or from London to Edinburgh.
We'll see which
or
costs
vice
better
versa.
or what time we have.
But yeah, we're just going to check it out. I will say by looking into this trip, I found that the UK's trains are very expensive, it seems like. Apparently, they are more expensive like even other European countries.
Oh.
And guys, I even found out, sadly, I didn't even know we had trains. But I found out sadly that even our trains are cheaper for the same distance. I'll pull that up and show you guys here in just a second. Because I was wanting to take trains everywhere because it's faster. It's like half the time as a bus.
Right.
But it's so expensive. So it will be very interesting to see if this is a very affordable train.
Now, I feel like before we continue on with the video, we need to address the elephant in the room. We've changed our backdrop slightly.
We changed it back to what it was.
Well, we've been trying out new setup and stuff, and I just got tired of the way the desk was, and I'm just like, okay, I want to move things around, and so we're going to try something new, and hopefully it sticks.
I don't think most
works.
people care.
Well, everyone I'm sure has noticed, because where's the flag?
Oh, true.
Where's the map? Where's the queen? You know, and
What did you
I
do
don't
with
know.
the queen?
I don't remember. It's somewhere around.
Anyway, guys, before we get in this video, please like, share, subscribe, turn the notification bell on if you haven't. Let's get right into this and check out this Lumo train. And also, comment down below if you have tried this out and what do you guys think of it.
There is a brand new train operator in town. Here is the logo. That O, though, we could do with just raising that up. There we go. That's the Lumo logo. Lumo, really cheap way to get from London here up to Edinburgh, Scotland, like this.
Today's trip on the Monday is the first passenger service, but I'd also been invited on the press event which took place 4 days prior on the Thursday in the previous week. Back then, it was all speeches and flashing lights and press photos. Today, though, is with an actual passenger train carrying actual passengers. And those passengers are either going to just Newcastle, Morpeth or Edinburgh Waverley, as those are the only stations that this train is calling at. Although in future, when the service is expanded from 2 return services a day up to 5, some of them will also be stopping at Stevenage as well. Check their timetable to see which ones.
So it doesn't seem like it's just a direct straight to Edinburgh. There are some stops.
Yeah.
Some of them will also be stopping at Stevenage as well. Check their timetable to see which ones. But what is the journey like?
How's it going? So, it's a bright blue train, it's a Hitachi, it's class 803001, it's 5 car, it's diesel only, it's not a bi-mode, I beg your pardon. What do I say, diesel only? It's electric only, it's not diesel. Thank you.
No, he said it's electric.
Yeah, I know.
The old ones are diesel.
Oh.
I beg your pardon. What do I say? Diesel only. It's electric only. It's not diesel. Thank you. There's a little bit of battery power. We'll discuss that. And I've got to get on because it's 10:40 and it leaves in 5 minutes at 10:45.
So it sounds kind of
So let's
small
talk
for
about their
5
cheap
cars.
fares then, because
Most of the
straight
cars are
away
really
I
long.
meet someone on board who's also got themselves an incredibly cheap ticket.
This is Chelsea.
Very average.
Hello.
Hello.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Sorry, it's just like what exactly what I would picture, like fairly comfortable seats. Actually, those do look kind of tight though, because there's a person facing that way and the person facing that way, so you might only have like this much between you. I don't know.
Not all of them are like that. Some of them only face one way. Looks like just
True.
in the center they switch.
Who's also got themselves an incredibly cheap ticket.
This is Chelsea.
Hello.
Hello. Thanks for being in my video.
No worries at all.
What's your website?
Cheapholidayexpert.com.
Now we're talking to you because you bought your ticket for a ridiculously cheap price when this was first announced. So how much did you pay and buy and when?
It was £13.10, but that was with a 26 to 30 rail car, which I'm desperately clinging on to as a 31-year-old. It will come to an end, but I'm making the most of it whilst I can. That's it here. You want to see the price?
I do a bit.
There we go. £13.10.
But that's one way,
That is,
and you're coming back tomorrow.
I have put.
So it's essentially it's a £26 return to Edinburgh.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
That's still
but this
really
is
good. Well, I looked it up once, and I don't know what train I was looking at, but it was like $700 for a one-way.
No.
I don't know what
no
I was
way.
on.
Yeah,
but it
you
was just
messed
like,
up.
that is way too
Most
much.
of the ones I was looking up, but one way I think was like £110.
That's still a lot.
It is. I think you were looking at 3 people.
Yes, that
That's
was for
why.
3 people.
Yeah.
But still.
That's a lot of money. And then go to American dollars, that's like $1,000.
Yeah.
Close to, I don't know. No, that's quick
Well,
math.
we would only be taking it one way.
Oh, true. I was just looking at both. But anyway, that's cheaper than an airplane.
That's cheaper than renting a car. When I looked up airplane costs, it was about $60 a person.
So this would still be about
Granted,
half.
it was really fast, so I don't know how fast this is, but
It's probably about, that's what I was going to say. It's probably about 4 or 5 hours. That seems like the average between London and Edinburgh.
Maybe.
But still, even half the price of flying, and you don't have the hassle of going to the airport, getting checked in, and all that. So this would, I think, be a better way even for us.
Yeah.
So it's essentially it's a £26 return to Edinburgh.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
But this is only like an introductory offer, is that right?
That is correct. So it will, after the 5-week initial period, go up to £30, I believe, for the cheapest ticket. But with a rail card, that'll be £20 as well. And in general, that's going to be for 60% of the tickets.
So are Lumo trying to take on the other train operators? Well, no, says their customer experience director, whom I got to speak to in the previous week whilst on the press trip.
We're really keen on making sure we remove barriers to travel, and ticket pricing and complexity is one of those key items. 60% of our tickets will be priced at £30. We're obviously accepting rail cards as well, which will discount that figure for customers, and we're really offering a very, very competitive price.
What does he keep meaning by rail car?
I think that's what I was going to say.
It's like
I think
a
it's
pass?
like a rail pass where you can get, like, if you buy, like, a certain pass, it'll cover so many different areas or loops or whatever. Like, they have the London pass.
I knew they had the London pass.
So I think a rail pass is something more for the whole UK. I know you can get a Euro pass and do more all over Europe.
Yeah, comment down below what they're talking about, because I would be interested to know. But even at £30,
Because we'll be there for 2 weeks, so a rail pass might be what we need.
even at £30, that's still half the price. Now, obviously, this is more direct route. But still, that's half the price
Well,
of like
we
a
want
plane
a direct
ticket.
route on the way back.
I know. I'm just
We're
saying
making
though.
our stops on the way there.
It's still about half the price.
Or vice versa. We don't
Like
know
£30 is to travel that far is very reasonable.
For customers, and we're really offering a very, very competitive price. Our target market are people who flew between London and Edinburgh. So prior to COVID, 74,000 people were flying between the two cities. We're really trying to target that market and say, take the greener option, take the cheaper option, sit back, relax, enjoy our service, and meet our team.
Time to head to the vestibule to explain the amenities and see where the toilets are.
So I'm in carriage D. Carriage C is that way. The thing you must know, in case you don't know, this whole thing about the cheap tickets is because there's only one class. Now, they're not even calling it standard class, they're just saying it's one class. It's just one class. The point is there's no first class on this train. It's only a 5-car train. It's the Hitachi 803. It's 5 cars. And there's a toilet in every carriage. So there's these regular toilets in 3 of the carriages, and there's the accessible toilet at each end, and there's also the bike racks too, which are being used here as luggage storage. And I want to go and see where the accessible area is.
The accessible area is in carriage A and is exactly the same as on other Hitachi trains. I spoke to this wheelchair user passenger who said that they'd had no problem with booking assistance and getting on board.
The door is now locked.
Just to note, it's the standard Hitachi toilet. Nothing else to say. Oh, except there's my reflection. It's the standard Hitachi toilet as you get on the other Class 800s.
Good morning. We will shortly
looks new
commence
to
our steam trolley service offering hot and cold refreshments and a variety of snacks. All
actually have
details of
snacks?
items available can be found in our Lumo app.
This is
Or you can
me.
bring your own food on.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you didn't make a mess, I could see that being the only reason why they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah. I mean, planes don't really allow it. And if this is like a
It'd be funny
constant thing.
if you like a vendor and you bought a ton of food on, you just start like selling it on the train. They'd probably get banned
All
or kicked
details
off.
of items
It's
available
moving pretty
can be
fast.
found in our
Yeah.
Lumo app.
Because what happens is that there's no guards on this train. There's no train managers. On a Lumo train, they call them ambassadors. Ambassadors wearing their very blue Starfleet Command Star Trekkie Star uniforms. What happens is that at the moment there is a catering service coming.
Oh, that is really Star Trek.
Wow, that's weird. So
Command
futuristic.
Star Trekkie Star uniforms. What happens is that at the moment there is a catering service coming down. They bring down a trolley. But Danielle, you can also, I gather, you can order food in advance via the app. How does that work?
You can, yeah. So on our app, you
Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it?
Yorkshire tea, yeah.
Yep.
Right there in the back.
It's like a big old box.
Food in advance via the app? How does that work?
You can, yeah. So on our app, you can order what's called Lumo Eats. So you pre-order, and basically that'll come to the train, and we deliver that first. So any pre-order you make, we will deliver that to your seat straight away, and then the at-seat trolley service will commence.
Back at my seat, I checked out some other
cool.
basics.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm pausing
There's
so
a lot
much,
of
guys, but I was thinking like I don't remember if he said how fast it is, but it seems like all the other trains about 4 or 5 hours. I kind of would want to try that. Just like order some food ahead of time.
I think a train would be so much fun. It looks like a
Well, the
really
reason
fun way to
why I
travel.
want to go on a train is because you see more scenery, whereas a plane you just
Yeah, and
Well-
you know, if we have the time, I'd rather see more scenery.
yeah.
Back at my seat, I checked out some other basics. There's one 3-pin plug socket, the right way up, and 2 USB-A's shared
Nice.
between the 2 seats.
Nice.
There's a fold-down table with a light too, which if you press the button for a second time, actually dims it slightly, which is nice. And then I realised that the tray table actually extends out, and it almost, oh so almost, meant that I could open my laptop screen the whole way. Something which I don't think I've ever been able to do on any other train.
Interesting.
The red and green lights for the reservation system didn't seem to be working at this time, but it was enabled later. Most people put their luggage in the space above, but as you'd expect, for a London to Edinburgh service, there was a lot of luggage and it was quite tricky to squeeze it all in.
So that's
Yeah.
the socket,
That's
train table
compact.
and light, but this is the biggest thing which people will be asking a question about, and that is how comfortable are the seats? Well, there's 2 things to test here. By the way, you've got the sliding down on the window, so you've got
Not all
the
the way
great
down.
elbow test, is can you get your elbow in there and rest your elbow in? Normally I would just rest my elbow and then put my head on my wrist. But the great thing about these trains is that they've got these side headrests right here, which means you can totally just like lean in. No need to rest your elbow because you can just rest your head. Am I
Well,
out
if
to
you're
sleep? I'm
tall.
going to have a nap.
Me, I just.
So I'm going to have a nap. So if people say, is it comfortable? I would say, can you fall asleep? And I can tell you that on the press trip last Thursday, for about half an hour, I completely fell asleep.
And you'll
That's a
know
good
there.
taste test.
No, I mean,
that's a
that
good
will-
test.
No, it really is. Like, they don't have, for as cheap as it is, they don't need to be the comfiest
Right.
seats.
Yeah.
But as long as
Especially
they're
if it's not a crazy
comfortable enough.
long journey.
Another thing I like about trains, I guess you could probably
I
do
like
this on
trains.
buses. You could probably do this on buses, but you could probably kind of get up and just kind of walk between the carts if your legs are like falling asleep or something.
Yeah.
And you'll note there that I fell asleep in the windowless seat. Let's discuss that for a moment.
So, I don't know what to call this. This is like, it's the corner seat on every train at either end. There's a seat here, which has got no window. Now, I put this out on Twitter last week, and this caused great divide, because some people were saying, that's terrible, why would you have a train with no window? Surely you could use this space for luggage space. Interestingly, there was a reverse, there was a counter argument, and some people were saying no, it's perfect if you want to sort of, if you're hungover, if you want to sleep, you can tuck yourself away.
I was
Or
gonna
more
say.
interestingly, people were saying if you've got a laptop and you really have to do some work, it's the great place to sit to guarantee
way
no
more secluded.
glare coming in from the sunlight through the window and onto your laptop. So some people enjoy this sort of little cubby hole seat. So be aware, here it's 91, 92, 93, 94 over there, and there's some at the other end as well. So there are some seats which don't have windows.
I would hate not having a window, but again, if you did this like even once a week,
Yeah.
for whatever your commute was, or like if you did this a ton, you've seen the scenery, it's the same thing over and over, and like you're working like a laptop or something, yeah, it would probably be better because then you don't have like you can roll down the thing.
Or if you work at night and you have to sleep during the day, that's probably going to be a little
There's
bit
less
darker.
distractions, just
Yeah.
like there's nothing other than just people.
Yeah.
And just then, we got to Newcastle.
It's 1:39, I believe. We've got in a little bit early because we're not due out to 1:47, so 8 minutes of stand time at Newcastle. We're coming on.
But I will say, I don't think the British are like this, but I have heard the Japanese, not only do they have bullet trains, which is like really fast, but they will actually like apologize
Oh, if
if the
something.
train is like seconds late. I think it's like
Well,
30.
this was early.
No, I know, no, that's great. No, I'm not saying anything against them. I just say I like other cultures. Like I think they will actually apologize, like a national. I think they have to do like a national or city or some kind of like
Wow.
public apology if the train I think is like more than 30 seconds late.
Wow.
Like that's how tight their schedules run.
Yikes. That sounds stressful.
7, so 8 minutes of stand time at Newcastle.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with being early.
I can totally get a cup of tea from the cup of tea place down there.
Why is it?
All right, we're due out.
The
Yeah,
cuppa.
we've got 8 minutes. The joke we were making on the press trip last week is that the uniforms that the lovely Lumo staff are wearing, it's a little bit Star Trek-y, right? But then today, I'm thinking their slogan, "Travel well beyond expectations," just makes me think of I want to say Buzz Lightyear. To infinity and beyond expectations. That's a really good light, by the way. Look at that.
We stopped at Morpeth as per the schedule on time, and I remember to get a shot of this dog for the obligatory pet wins in internet video moment. And then the silhouetted pantograph also reminded me that last week I'd asked about the electric train and the limited battery power that it does have.
It was always going to be the Hitachi units because it's always better to buy a second generation of trains. We knew the trains were cleared for the route. We knew the trains could work on the route, so we did a deal with Hitachi. There is extra batteries on the train. Where they took the engines on, they needed to put the weight to balance it out, so they used the weight balance in battery technology. So there's batteries on. The batteries won't provide any traction and move the train from A to B, but if we get stranded for some reason, touch wood, we never get stranded, but if we lost overhead wire power, they can last up to 4 hours and give you slowly load shedding to give auxiliary power to keep the lights on, the heating on, the aircon on.
And then I spoke.
Okay, so yeah, it won't move the train, but it'll keep it running on the inside.
Oh, that's what he said? Okay.
Yeah, so if the power went out in England, the overhead stuff, they would be stranded, but at least they would still have electricity inside.
For 4 hours.
I mean, 4 hours, it's not that big of a place.
No, I know, but if you had really bad... you could probably get out, people could probably drive up or something, but if it was really bad storms knocked it out, winter... So that's kind of one downside to it, but...
But I don't think that's a very common occurrence.
They don't really have something that would wipe out power.
Right, for long periods of time.
At least that I'm aware of. I mean, obviously, let us know, guys, if you've had some really bad power outages.
Yeah.
Load shedding to give auxiliary power to keep the lights on, the heating on, the aircon on.
And then I spoke to Managing Director Helen Wild, who explained that whilst the train is very blue, it's actually also very green.
It's 6 times greener, okay, and what we basically did was we designed the service to try and reduce reasons why you wouldn't do it. First of all, trains are expensive, not if you travel with us. 60% of our fares will be under 30 quid, tick. It's not very comfortable. Well, we spent a lot of money and time on design, holistic design, in terms of the seats, the lighting, the tray tables, etc., the customer experience in terms of booking, but also on the service that the ambassadors give, so that it's very much more service-led, looking at what you need, etc., menu, entertainment, Wi-Fi, and so on. So another tick in the box. No first class, we're inclusive, everybody gets treated the same, which is how it should be. And I'm saying to you, well, why wouldn't you? With all of those things in place, there's no reason, and we get you there in 4.5 hours, which actually, if you went door to door on a plane, by the time you unpacked your stuff, sat in the bar for half an hour, parked the car, etc., is probably on a par. And if you haven't had to move around and go through all that agony while you're doing it, so why not? And try and give people the opportunity to test it out.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say, on the planes, it's only an hour and 10 minutes, but you have the whole get there early. Even if you're really familiar, but for us, we're not familiar. So we'd have to get there really early, go through security, find our terminal, wait around. You're killing time to get on the plane.
They have musicians.
Well, they at least have guitars
stored,
so there must be a band or something.
While you're doing it, so why not? And try and give people the opportunity to test it out.
Oh, and one final press trip flashback was that Lumo had got singer-songwriter Tom Walker on board to help celebrate the launch as he performed several of his hit songs. Now, I'd love to include them in this video, but YouTube will demonetize me faster than you can say leave a light on, which is why there's a secret hidden link down below to take you to an unlisted video where you can watch the performance. And with all that, our train was rapidly approaching Edinburgh.
And hello, Edinburgh, made it to Waverley, in on platform 10.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we might be there.
How was your cheap ticket?
It was amazing.
Would you recommend?
Absolutely. What's not to love? 13 quid, what a bargain.
Well, I mean, 13 now it's 30, but... It's still almost 3 times the price.
That is the new and very blue way of getting from London to Edinburgh, and both ways. Lumo website, very cheap tickets. Remember, the £20 tickets were just up to the end of November. It's £30 in advance. Prices do go up more than that if you get in slightly later, but they're taking on the airlines, not necessarily LNER, but it's a really cheap way to get between London and Edinburgh.
Interesting.
He should have done that. I can't do it. I can't even say
Star Trek
he should have done that. Okay, so first off, got some shout outs. We got a shout out Geoff Marshall. I never heard of him.
No,
Yeah, that's a great video he did. Very well done. Also, shout out to Trevor for sending us this way, because we might actually, I'm definitely leaning towards to doing that. One thing I had mentioned in the beginning was that our trains were cheaper. I could be wrong on that, but I did want to just pull up
a comparison.
So this is with the car, but London to Edinburgh.
Well, you can hit the train.
I don't want to hit
transit, but that's a little different.
Anyway, it's 411 miles roughly this route. And then
about 7 hours.
I wanted to compare Kansas City to Chicago is 527, so almost an extra 100 miles. A train might
the same length of time.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just a comparison to give you an idea. Now, our train service that I'm aware of is Amtrak. That's really like the universal one. There might be some other ones, but that's
at least here
the
in the
only one I know about. So this was a I think this is just a one way. Yeah. So one way there. Over here is $71.
Yeah, which I didn't even know you could do it for that cheap. That seemed cheap to me.
I was surprised because, again, especially over here with our cars, gas, it would probably be comparable for one person. Now they do have first class, and they do have business. But it's just giving you guys an idea. There actually are some trains over here in the Midwest.
We do have trains,
and the rates aren't, I would say, awful. Point out some of these are actually take a really long time to get there.
Yeah, 14 hours. Holy cow.
This one's the best one though, and it's not that much more.
Still 7 hours.
7.5 hours. So actually,
the Lumo
based off that though,
I wonder if it's Lumo like a limo because it's sleek.
Anyway, guys, I just want to give you some comparison. I'm not too familiar with the trains over here.
Right.
So this was like, I don't know, 10 minutes of me looking into it because
I'm sure you can find deals online.
I've actually been on Amtrak once when I was in Boy Scouts. It was actually like a thing to do for the day. It was like an exciting thing.
Did you get a badge?
No, there wasn't a badge for that. But it was an exciting thing to do because like Americans just, especially in the Midwest, we just don't use trains. Yeah. So it was like a whole excursion. Like, you're gonna go on a train. You're gonna go up to the city because we went from Jeff City, which is the capital of Missouri. Anyway, so yeah, it was kind of a fun experience. I have actually been on a train, but yeah, it's just like that's my only time, and I'm 26 years old. All in all, the Lumo.
Definitely something we're going to look into. If not, definitely do.
Yeah. Now, the food obviously would probably cost more, I imagine.
Maybe, but if it's like the price of a normal meal.
It's still a cool thing. And if you can enjoy a cuppa.
Right.
Cup of tea, cuppa.
Or if you can bring your own food, because we might be like, oh, well, we stopped at this place. We want to
Well, it would work really good for us, though, too, because they show that they did have some storage. Like, it's cramped, but
we're trying to pack light, but
we're going to have probably a good-sized suitcase, so we need that little bit of storage. Yeah. So, definitely thanks to Trevor for sending this our way, because it might have completely changed how we're returning to London or going to Scotland. We have still haven't figured out what we're doing. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what you thought. Comment down below if you guys have tried this out.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's cheaper than flying.
Yes.
And it's comparable in time.
Yes.
Why not do it? Yes. Like it makes sense to do this.
And it seems just as relaxing, if not more than
as I say, it's probably more comfortable. The seats are probably just as tight, maybe a little bit bigger, but the fact that there's more bathrooms.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get up, I think you can get up and walk around a lot easier. Yeah. On a train, because I feel
think so. It's a little more sturdy in some ways.
Well, I think it's taller too.
I've only been on a plane like once, so.
Train, you can just like go, and you have a lot longer you can walk on a train.
Yeah.
So, anyway, guys,
down the middle.
Super interesting, super excited. We're definitely looking forward to our trip very, very much.
I'm getting so excited.
With that being said, guys, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Please be safe, take care, look after one another, and as always, cheers.